Welcome back, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, to the super, not funny show reviews. And today we're reviewing Raised by Wolves Season 2, Episode 8, the season finale, entitled Happiness. So, was it good? Was it bad? And should you be watching? Well, we've come to the end of the road, and I want to say I can't let go, but all things considered, they're making it easier and easier for me to let go, unfortunately. Which I hate to say it like that because you know what, season 2 has been really good, but like most short form, I guess, shorter prestige shows seem to have a problem with pacing or landing certain beats, or in particular landing endings, and that's kind of kind of a point of contention for me with this particular episode. That said, I actually really quite enjoyed the episode. In a sense, there was a lot of bringing to an end of certain storylines, like for instance, unlucky number 7, the serpent with tentacles that was, I guess, menacing the world at behest of the mysterious entity they call Saul. Better call Saul, I guess you could say. He finds his end because Mother decides to put Grandmother's call on to get rid of her emotional attachment to it so she could destroy it. And no epic battle, no nothing like that, just a big old CGI fest that would not have looked out of place in a video game or Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within, 20 years ago. So I think in a sense, there's definitely you can definitely see, I guess, a bit of the budgetary limitations and also the time constraints and the effects of the pandemic. The CG is not great in many places in this show, particularly when they have to go show big, big things like that. But yes, Mother does dispatch number 7, and I guess to show she's really not emotionally attached, just digs out the number 7's brain out straight through his eye. It's pretty messed up, but also in the process, maybe alienating her from Campion, her first best child, I guess you could say. Also, they sort of bring together the whole Tempest and her baby situation. I guess she's going to embrace it, but noting that Tempest's baby has been altered from suckling on a mer woman, and that actually leads to, I guess, some revelations later on in the episode, because it's clear that Mother and Father have essentially worked out that every humanoid thing on the planet is in fact a human, in the sense that they're genetically similar to the humans that they are themselves are shepherding and looking over. I did find it interesting that Mother was so powerful that she apparently disrupted, I guess, weather patterns. But I think this actually has more to do with the fact that she disrupted a crazy looking weird energy shield that's around the temporal belt, the equatorial belt where they are living. And so clearly, just like all of the domes and everything like that, all the little artifacts and stuff. Well, I guess the artifacts are really more traps laid by the Saul entity, but some other artifacts are clearly the remnants of the technocrat society, and it seems that whole equatorial belt seems to have actually been a safe haven for the technocrats. That's why Saul's influence is very limited on that part of the world. It's that part is quite interesting. The fact that Saul is in fact less like God of the Bible and more like the serpent, I guess. Just an interesting flip of the whole dynamic, because Saul has been sort of portrayed as I guess the benevolent God, but maybe he's more like the serpent that continues to try to undermine humanity. At the very least, that's the way Grandmother seems to see things. And to that end, that actually, kind of brings to head what's grandmother and what's she up to, and why does she exist, and what does she want? The fact that she sets this trap of sorts for Mother, who clearly is probably more powerful than she is, but she sets a trap for Mother, knowing that Mother doesn't see things the way she sees it about the threat of the entity called Saul and humanity and whatnot. But when Mother finally does, understand and bring everything together, her emotions actually trigger the call to sort of tie her up and set her in place so that grandmother can take over as, I guess you could say, the steward of humanity. And I thought that whole angle was very interesting because, like, the mystery box aspect of this show is kind of what keeps you coming back. So you'll be like, well, what's actually going on here? What's really happening? And to see how they reveal, what grandmother's, I guess you could say, plot, plan, whatever, is, and how it actually works with her directive to safeguard humanity, and that the thing she's safeguarding against is the entity, and the entity only really seems to react when there are highly intelligent human beings on the planet. That's why her plan to sort of forcefully devolve the humans on the planet so that they no longer arouse the interest of the entity. It makes a lot of sense, and it's also horrible. It's also a really, really horrible thing that she's doing. And nobody is aware except Mother, who of course is now incapacitated. And so, aside from that, we also have Marcus being waylaid and put on the brand new tree that springs out of the corpse of the serpent number 7. And there's a lot of oddly, considering this is a world where Christianity isn't a thing, some oddly Christian stuff going on. In particular, the upside down crucifixion. It's definitely some kind of imagery from Catholicism. So it's all pointing in a certain direction. The only thing that really kind of bugs me about this is that this is the season finale, so I can't stand finales that do more question answering than they answer, question asking than they answer. There should be a couple of lingering things, but not a dozen lingering things going on. And that's just how I feel. Like they don't necessarily revolve the stuff about Vril. They sort of do, but they really don't. There's some question about what was she really thinking about? What did she really write? There's grandmother and what is her plans? Will Mother get out? What's Saul up to? What's Saul's plans for Marcus? All of that stuff's going on, and I can't stand that sort of thing. Answer some damn questions, all right? The answer more than you ask. But I did enjoy the episode. I thought it was quite good. I just hate that that's the way that this season ends. So, but overall, a lot of really cool stuff in here. There's enough to bring me back for season 3. I'll just say that much. I will absolutely come back for season 3 because damn it, I need to know where this is all going. And I need to know if is humanity doomed and who the hell is Saul? That's the big question. And maybe why does he care so much about turning humans into trees? We'll find out about that, I hope, next season. So, but generally speaking, hey, this is a great show to watch now. It's really much better than season 1. And I'm glad I took the time to watch it. So anyway, what did you guys think about this episode, the finale, and what did you think about the season in general? Why don't you get down to the comments, let me know what you're thinking. Of course, you can always hit me up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com or at supernotfunnyf1 on Twitter, and we'll chop it up. All right, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, thanks for joining me. Come back for even more reviews in the future. Got plenty of them coming. Till then, I've been Mole Poupée, your resident fabricant and commenter extraordinaire on all things pop culture. And I'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.